Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing, my beautiful, beautiful people? So, yesterday we were talking about all those problems, all those burdens that you had. And so you were asking me, how do I deal with loneliness? How do I deal with guilt? The not capable? I asked you basically, what was it that's holding you back? And so everybody can come up with a whole list of things that's holding you back. But here's the one thing, literally, that I found is that they're all excuses. Oh, did that pack a punch? Did that pack a punch? And then you know what you're going to say to me? You're going, but they're valid excuses. I know they're valid excuses. Every single excuse you have is valid. I promise you, I'm with you. I've probably had most of them myself. But here is one thing. Peggy McCall said to me one day, Sheena, make excuses or make money. And I went, uh, but, oh my God, what was my choice? Did I want the excuses to be my choice? And was I focusing on my excuses and trying to get out of them? Or was I going to focus on the results that I wanted? And I focused on my results. Now you tell me. What do you want? Do you want to focus on your results that you want or the results that you have? And let me tell you, you will have more excuses. And every single time you make an excuse, guess what? Another one will come. You will keep having one after the other after the other. And I had a conversation this morning with somebody on Messenger, and we don't realize what we write down. He said, in the future, maybe one day in the future, or tomorrow. You see, when we do that with our language, we are pushing everything further away because we think it's going to be okay tomorrow or think we're going to have the answer. Let me ask you this for all of you who are in your 40s and 50s, and 60s. Did you think when you were 20 that you'd have it all sorted when you were 30? And then you were 30, you thought, well, I'll have it all sorted when I'm 40. And then when you're 40, you're going, hang on a minute, it's not quite working the way I wanted it to work. And then you got to your 50s and you're like going, oh my God, somebody needs to do something with me. Well, that was me. So make excuses or make money. Make excuses or get results. Hiya, Alan. Lovely to have you here. So none of your excuses work on me. Are you prepared to have a call with me and have every single excuse wiped off the planet? Alan knows that. Alan knows very well that there is not one excuse that I haven't got a flippant answer for. Because I'll show you. I'll show you what you're doing. And only you have to make the decision to step forward or not. And that's your choice. And the wonderful Debbie's here again. She's going to be a millionairess. In fact, I hope you're a millionairess already this morning, Debbie, with all your feathers. So if you want to know what that's about, that's another program that we're running of 40 days to manifestation. But sure, we're all having a little bit of fun here. That's it. Lighten up with ourselves. Lighten up. Live with your excuses or focus on your results. Focus on that vibration of your results. So I told you that I was going to give you a wee secret today. And here's the secret. Let me tell you a little story that will highlight what this secret is. And you tell me if you can figure out what that was. Okay, so when I was 19, now, bear in mind, my whole life, my mum said to me that I wasn't academic. In fact, she used to laugh whenever I would say that I would be a vet, and she would giggle and laugh and say, 7 million so far, Debbie, loving it, loving it. So she would literally have a bit of a giggle when I said that I wanted to be a vet. And she goes, sure, Sheena hasn't got an academic bone in her body. That's what I was told. But anyway, I've disproved that, so never worry about that. And so at the age of 19, when I was a secretary, medical secretary, I decided to go to the RAF for an interview. So I went along for the interview to be admin, and apparently my IQ was really high. I didn't even understand what the word IQ was. I mean, as far as I was concerned, it was a test, and that was it. Another test that you had to pass. And I'd learned how to pass tests. I learned how to pass the 11 plus because for a whole year, 2 years, was made to sit there every week, probably every night, actually coming near the end and doing an 11 plus test. Does anybody have memories like that? Do you have memories like that? Literally locked in a room until I did the test. But anyway, so I was so used to just doing that. Those tests to me were no problem. So, of course, I rock up and I do this test. And then they say, your IQ is 160. We want you to be an officer. And I'm literally sitting there. No, so can you imagine me? That Sheena is a secretary. And they have just asked me to go and be an officer. I was bypassing interviews and I was going to just go to training. I was horrified. I literally thought, oh my gosh, they've got the wrong person. And so I literally left and I said, yes, I would be in touch, but I didn't contact them. I didn't answer any email. I did nothing. In fact, what I did was I went and I got married and I continued to be a medical secretary. Does anybody see? Does anybody have an idea of what the cause of my results were? Has this happened to you? Has somebody said to you that you're a leader and you've gone, who are they talking to? I've had that as well. You're a leader, Sheena, you're a leader. And I'm like, I don't even know who you're talking to. What are you on about? I'm just doing my work. Do you know the answer yet? The answer is your self-image. Your self-image isn't what you've created up here. Your self-image is what your whole body is operating from. Now, my self-image was set to the dial, to a thermostat of a medical secretary. I mean, there's nothing, I'm not saying there's anything wrong. That's where my thermostat was set to. Our thermostats are all set somewhere. And mine was set to a medical secretary to earn, I think, about 10K. So the thoughts of earning 20K were completely outside my realm. 30K, well, somebody's having a laugh. I mean, like, I couldn't even have even mentioned the word 100K because that would have just been silly and I would have just gone, yeah, whatever. My dial was set to a medical secretary. What's your dial set to? Go on. What's your dial set to? Something somebody told you? Is your dial set to, so let's have a look at some of these things that you've said here. So, laziness, is your dial set to a laziness? Did somebody keep telling you that you weren't working hard enough? So your thermostat dial is set to lazy. Got guilt here. Is your thermostat set to guilt? Is your not capable? Is that what your thermostat is set to? That's what you're building your image around, of somebody not capable? It's all a story. It's all a story. Yes, it's come from way back when, but you choose to change it now. Like, you choose to change it now. But what happens? So that's the thing. If I thought for 1 minute that I could earn 20,000, what happened was I brought myself right back to 10,000. It's as if like a little thermostat went off. And let me actually share that with you now. If I can do that right now for you, I'll give you an idea of what it is. So here we go, just making sure that that's showing up properly for you. Let me know if you can all see the thermostat is a cybernetic instrument. I like to make sure that I'm doing this right. Here we go, just making sure that that's showing up properly. Yes, I can see that it's showing up. I need to have two screens going on here and other people in the background. So there you go. So this is a cybernetic instrument. That's what a thermostat is. And so if we set the temperature here to 70 degrees, and then it cuts off. So once it's 70 degrees, that's it, it's done. But then somebody comes along and opens the door. And what happens? The temperature drops. Well, what happens to that thermostat? It resets it, doesn't it? It literally will turn the heating on and it will rise back up. That's what's been happening with you. That's what's been happening with your money. That's what's been happening with your personality. You have set your self-image to be a certain person. Have you ever said, well, that's just the way I am? No, that's just the way you have been. But from now on, this is how I'm going to be. Can you write that statement down right now? This is how I've always been. And now I'm changing. Can you do that? You need to be that. Give yourself a command and learn to follow it. And every time you go to act like the old person, is that serving you? Because you see that image of that older person, the previous one, he, she, they've got thoughts and ways to behave. And so they keep coming out and keep coming out. Joe Dispenza had a great one when he said, break the habit of being you. This is what we need to do, because who you are brought you to where you are right now. She will not bring you to the next level. She will not bring you to the next level. You must change your cybernetic instrument, which is your self-image. This is only 2%. This. 98%, your self-image is controlling everything. That's why certain things just keep happening. Oh, that always happens to me. Why does that always happen to me? Oh, that's just the story of my life. Well, what if you created a new story? What if you created a new story? What would that story be? What would it be? So no longer you're going to say I'm lazy. You go, I'm pondering and contemplating. I'm pondering and contemplating my next action. That would be good, wouldn't it? Because there's no judgment there. You say, oh, you're lazy, is a judgment, and it constricts you and you feel not bad. But if you go, well, I'm pondering my next action. I'm not sure what to do yet, but the idea will come soon. And then the idea is free to rise. But if you go, I'm lazy, I don't know what to do, then you close everything off. Does that make sense? You see, it's in your subconscious. It's in there. I mean, let's look at an example. We've all tried to lose weight. So, in your self-image, you've always been a fat person. You've always been overweight. So that's who you think you are. So you make a decision. That's it. Enough. Enough's enough. That's it. I need to lose the weight. And you deprive yourself. Oh, because in your mind you're going, I want the chocolate. But you can't have the chocolate. Let me tell you this. Nothing grows from deprivation. Nothing grows from deprivation. All you do is scrunch yourself down. You can eat whatever the heck you want if you sort your self-image, because your self-image will sort it for you. Make your self-image the image of a thin person. I've always been thin. I've always been thin. But you're the one who must repeat it over and over, because you're creating a whole new neural network in your mind. A whole new image has to be created. That doesn't just happen in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. It could potentially take a year for you to do that, but you're not doing anything else, so you may as well just carry on. I mean, you're living life anyway. I did this whenever I went on a month's cruise. I decided that I was 53 kilos. That's it. So one day I'd probably overeat and overdrink. But then the next couple of days, I'd be like, I'm not really bothered, not really bothered, not really bothered. Because I would always say, no matter what I was eating, I didn't deny myself a thing. I had what I wanted. But I found that I didn't want it. See, when I give myself permission, do you know this permission to be rich business? When I give myself permission, I didn't want it. It's the same when you have more money. You see, the less money you have, you think you want to buy. And so when you get the money, then you go and buy. But see, when you have more money, you become really particular and you go, I don't want that. Because all of a sudden you've got permission. You've got the freedom. And you didn't really want it. You know why you wanted it before? Because you were constricted and all of a sudden you had money, so it expands out. It's the same with food. You probably don't want the donut. You know, you say to yourself, well, I want to feel fit and healthy. Is that donut? How do I feel when I have a donut? Well, I feel a bit heavy. Well, do I want to feel heavy? No, I don't want to feel heavy. Well, is it worth eating the donut then? No. But your self-image could do all that for you without you even thinking. That took a lot of thought. Thought, 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 thought. But if my self-image, hey, that's a good one. I'll make that one up. If my self-image was programmed and I set the thermostatic cybernetic instrument, it would do it all for me. It would do it all for me. So you see, that's why you get results. But then it's also the reason why you keep bouncing back, because you bounced back to where you started. Everybody's starting to recognize this a little bit more now. When you sort your self-image, you have results that stick without any effort, because it's just tuning you, absolutely tuning you in. So maybe you're a salesperson, maybe you've got a business, and if you say I'm not a salesperson, well, you're always selling. We're always selling. I'm selling myself that I have a clue what I'm talking about. Bob sold himself to me. You're selling yourself as the best girlfriend, wife, mother, whatever, daughter. You're always selling yourself. But you think, oh, sales, sales. If you're in business and nothing's sold, you're in sales. But then you say, what's your self-image around sales? Are you trying to sell something? I don't have any sales and I'm not a salesperson. I'm a coach. Ah, I see. Do you see? Do you see that? Do you see how the conflict is going on there? And so you don't have any sales because I'm not a salesperson. I'm a coach. So you end up coaching clients on the call and then wonder why they don't buy because you're a coach. And you said, but I'm asking them to buy the program, but you coached them. Selling is giving people what they want. And what do you want? What is it that you want? Help other people find that as well. Help people find what they want and give them what they want. So, do you understand what is literally going on here? Yeah? Do you understand what's going on? Put a thumbs up, put a heart, put a hand. I don't care. Whatever. Do you understand what's going on here? That is the root cause of all of your results. And it's your paradigm, like a company has a paradigm. Oh, so here's the thing. So I work with business professionals, yeah, corporate business professionals who want to leave their job and want to start your own business. And I wish somebody had taken me through thinking into results. Oh my goodness. It would have saved me a lot of heartache. I thought I knew everything because I had all these qualifications and all these programs and all these books read, and I thought I knew it all, but I wasn't applying a damn thing. I had it all up here and no results because I thought I had to work it all out in my 2%, not realizing that I had this amazing mechanism, the 98% who actually brings me the results, serving me on a plate every day what I ask for. And you go, well, I'm not getting my goal. What are you contemplating? Contemplating your problems and what you can't do? You're contemplating what you can do. Big, big thing. So, your self image. Corporate professionals wanting to start a job, wanting to start their own business. So, here's the thing, maybe you've started your own business and you're just not getting any results. You want to speak to me. Maybe you are getting results, but you've got no time. You want to speak to me. Maybe you're still in your corporate job and you want to leave because you realize that you've just made your company 50 million and you got a bonus of 2 grand. Stop making other people rich, for goodness sake. Stop making other people rich. Make yourself rich. I mean, we need businesses. So this work isn't for everyone. I know that. Because we need every business out there. We need people in jobs to keep the world going. But there's some of you who are just ready. They're reluctant leaders. They're reluctant leaders out there that you know there's something more, but you just can't break through that wee ceiling. You want to book a call with me. You want to book a call with me. Let me tell you. We've got flipping Brian, who 6 months after working with me left his job and he earned his annual salary monthly. And then a month later, he doubled that. Can you believe that? Can you? We've got somebody who running his own hotel group, 200K profit all year. 8 months later, 1 million a month. Like, there's a self-image change going on there. They couldn't have worked that out in their 2%, let me tell you. There's something else going on. That's why when you copy everybody else's actions and you don't get the same results, now you know why. Because your self-image is wrapped up in laziness. Your self-image is wrapped up in guilt. Your self-image is wrapped up in lonely, not capable, can't cope. Other people's paradigms, other people's opinions. Your self-image is all wrapped up in all of that. Let me tell you, you want to book a call with me if you want to shift this. Because no amount of knowledge is going to shift that self-image. I mean, you can try. Good on you if you take this information and you absolutely fly with it. But how many times have you been told this? Don't be that person who comes back to me a year later and goes, Sheena, I've got no results. You're right. I need to do this work. Please don't be that person. And somebody else 2 years ago, Sheena, you told me this 2 years ago, and I'm no further on. Don't be that person. Be the one who says yes and books a call. Just book a call. Now, some of you have already spoken to. Don't you dare book a call with me unless you're signing up. I'm telling you, I'm being serious because whenever you have, what I realized is that the more calls I give people, the more I was leading them on because people will literally, I will talk with you and I will lift you up, and that was it. You're going on. So, like some of you are doing the 40 days and 40 nights. I will lift you up, and for 40 days and 40 nights, you're going to be great. But then, what happens the next 40 days and 40 nights, and the next 40 days and 40 nights? You'd have to be with me like Wolfgang, who gets a little chirping in his ear every single morning, and wait to tell you the results that are coming there is just unbelievable. You'd need to have that because he has me every single day. He has to pay for that. Bless him. I'm only joking. I love you, Wolfgang, just in case you're watching this. So, what are you doing? Now, if you're in a corporate job, right, or any job, or think of just even growing up like your parents, think of religion. Here's what happens. There was a wee man who decided to grow a pumpkin in a glass jar. So he puts the pumpkin seed in the glass jar and it grows and grows and grows until it was just literally, it filled the glass jar and it was like squeezing out. Do you ever feel like that? Like you're being suffocated. And so he was squeezing out of this glass jar. And so the only way to break was he had to break the glass jar. And then he had a pumpkin the same size and the shape as the glass jar. How easy do you think it would be for that pumpkin to regain its shape and to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to its full potential? You've all seen those massive, massive pumpkins, haven't you? Like we're going to be coming into pumpkin season soon. You've seen the massive pumpkins and with the potential of a pumpkin, but he stuffed it into a wee glass jar. That's you. When I was younger, I used to have nightmares, and what they were these lines of energy coming in and crushing me, and I used to wake up screaming. And sometimes I didn't wake up; I would just be screaming. But I also remember that. Does anybody remember gas and air? For anybody who's my age, gas and air, and there'd be like these waves coming in. Well, that's what was done. You literally were self-actualized whenever you were younger. It's just then you were told otherwise as you grew up. I want the Ferrari, mummy. Don't be silly, you can't have a Ferrari. I mean, she was only protecting you. I'm going to be a vet. Don't be silly, you can't be a vet. She was only protecting me. She didn't want me to be disappointed because she was disappointed. Actually, when you stick your head up, somebody's going to smack it off. Or you need to be brought down a peg or two. Does this resonate? Yeah. Because we want you to fit into your wee glass jar. And so even when you break out of your wee glass jar, so you're in corporate and you're in a glass jar, whether you think it or not, and you're so protected, like me, you know, making 50 million for the company, and then, you know, you're in that glass jar and you're protected, and then you step out. And you thought you were, because you're in a global company, and you thought, wow, I'm big, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other. And then you step out of the company and you go, oh my goodness, I did not realize how small I was. This high private eye. But in the company, yay, no problem, got this sorted. Step outside, this high was my personality, this high, and I didn't see my self-image because it was wrapped up in the other company's self-image. It was wrapped up in their rules, procedures, everything. So I felt comfortable and I'd molded myself to the role. I used to call myself, well, not give the name of the company, but anyway, so I molded myself to the role. So can you imagine? And I was like that pumpkin, and I came out and I was stuck in there. So maybe some of you have left your jobs and you're trying to build a business, but you're still in the glass jar and you're actually feeling suffocated now because there's nowhere for you to grow, and you can't grow because you're wrapped in the glass jar of your previous company. And you're like, and I have to do that like as if it's funny, but I know exactly where you are because that's what it felt like to me. Suffocation. Suffocation. Or perhaps you've got all the money, right? You've made the money. Great. Do you own anything, by the way? Or are you all flash and no cash? This is a good question. You might want to think about whenever you're retiring. But that's the thing, is that you're working within that glass jar still. And you're still feeling suffocated because you've got no time, because you're in the paradigm of work and the corporate life that you had. What would it feel like if you could just smash that glass jar and just expand? Can you feel the expansion now? Just expand. So are you that person? Book your call now. I know we've already got one call already booked. He took the urge. He jumped forward before I'd even started this masterclass. He'd already booked it. He was the first one. And there was more yesterday. Is going to be more today? Is that going to be you? Are you going to be one of my stories? Wouldn't that be nice? 6 months working with Sheena, earning my annual salary monthly. Or I've had a couple of people, 2 months working with Sheena, I've 10x'd my salary. I mean, it's up to you. What's it worth to step forward? What's it worth to step forward? Freedom. Freedom. I want you to know how amazing you are. You absolutely, truly are. See all these things that are holding you back? We're going to wipe them out the window. Just get rid of all of them. So listen. Just see right now that my internet has gone. So I will catch you again. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, 1 o'clock. Bye-bye now.
I'm off now. Oops.